Hello and welcome to my Grok Talk. I'm Richard Hundhausen. I'm from Boise, Idaho. I'm a regional director, and I'm going to be showing you Reporting Services Report Builder. So let me show you who I am on an actual report. I know you've seen plenty of PowerPoint today, so I thought I'd bring this up in a not very well-centered slide called a report. Again, I'm a regional director from Boise, Idaho. I'm also the author of a recent book on Visual Studio Team System. Thought I'd hold this up and have you take a look at that. But I'm not going to be talking about Team System today. I want to point out one simple fact. Developers hate users. Okay, let me explain. Have any of you out there ever gone out and built a report to spec, just the way your users wanted it, only to show it to them and have them say, I don't want that. That's not what I asked for. That needs to be green. That needs to be on the left. It needs to be sorted by this. Yeah, I thought there's a few out there that have done that. So what I'm going to show you is the answer to your user problem. It's called Report Builder, and at this show at TechEd, it was announced that Report Builder is available not just in the Enterprise Edition of SQL Server 2005, but also the Standard Edition and the Workgroup Edition. Express users, you'll still have to find another way. You'll still have to make your users happy the old-fashioned way. Let's get started. So you're probably all comfortable with this interface, having seen it now for a year and a half. This interface is supported in SQL Server 2000 as well. Does anybody out there notice a new button here on the taskbar? It says Report Builder. This will actually kick off a rich client application using the Click Once deployment. We'll get to that in a moment because first we have to set up some infrastructure. I'm going to go create a new folder. We'll call this TechEd 2005. Description, we'll make it something interesting like TechEd 2005. Let's pop into this folder. Now, normally in folders in SQL Server 2000 reporting services, you upload reports and maybe create some data sources. There's a new file type out there called an SMDL. It's a report model, and it's actually used to identify the report builder sandbox of information. We'll get to that in a moment as well. Let me go through the steps here to actually get this started. I'm going to upload a file, but now instead of just uploading RDL files, we can go out and point to SMDL files. Again, I'll wrap up my Grok talk with what is an SMDL file and how to create one. So we'll open that up. We'll call this the AdventureWorks report model. I'll upload this. Now I'm going to go create a new data source. I need to tell this report model where to go get its data. So we'll call this the AdventureWorks data source. We'll give it a very meaningful description like AdventureWorks data source. It's a Microsoft SQL server. The server itself is going to be my virtual machine here called Research. Database will be something like AdventureWorks. And let's connect using integrated security. And I'll scroll down here at the bottom and I'll just reconfirm that I want Windows integrated security. Click OK. Now I've got the two things here, the data source and the report model. Last step is to actually tell the report model to use the data source. I know it looks like it should just see it there sitting next to it about 2 inches away, but it's not quite that smart yet. So I'm going to pop into here. Let's give it a better description while we're in here. Let's tell the folks at AdventureWorks that this report model is for those people in the management office. Because the great thing about these report models is you can identify the scope of people who'll be using it. You can pick the tables, you can pick the columns, you build the SQL, you build the subqueries, you build the joins, you build the select min, the max, the average. You can abstract them from all that stuff that they would just screw up anyway. Because we hate users, right? Let's go ahead and apply that. Come back over here to Data Sources tab. I almost forgot to do that. Yeah, you see it's not smart enough. It doesn't know that it's just sitting there right next to it. We'll browse over, pick the TechEd folder, point to the data source that we just created, and click OK. Click Apply, and now pop up back to our folder here. Now these two items have been properly linked together, so let's get started. Click Report Builder. There's a little Click Once deployment. I've already run it once, so it's already prompted me for the security items. And here's what we end up with. It actually knows about two different report models out there because I was doing a demonstration earlier. But here's what the user would see. A nice, simple, not very assuming interface, modal dialog boxes. They can't get off track. We can trust our users to not go way out on the limb here and do something crazy. So they'll pick their model, reading the description here. Oh, this is me. I'm in the management office. I'll choose that one. Let me make this full screen. And then here's their home. This is where they can go and build their own report. Now, I know developers, we like to build the perfect thing, but as I said earlier, you can't always do that because users, they're picky people. They will not like what you build, so let them build it themselves. It's really simple. You can pick one of these different templates over here, crosstab style reports, a new feature that's been added in the April edition and the June edition that released today. You can actually get the charting now in the report builder. I'm just going to do a real simple one here. We're going to do an AdventureWorks contact list. You know, and they can do things like make it larger, make it red, make it green, whatever. They're in charge of their own look and feel, which is that's the stuff we don't want to worry about as developers. Then they can explore these different entities over here. Now, these more than likely are going to be tables or views in the back end. But the great thing about it is when you build the models, you identify these how you want them to be named. So if you think that the folks over in the management office might like to use this term, you can put that term in the model, and they pick it here as a nice, simple, easy to understand word. So I'm going to pick the Contact Explorer, and let's throw out here last name, first name, and email address. Oh, we'll also throw out title, Mr., Mrs., Ms., things like that. Now here's a great feature of the report builder. If they just fire this off and run it, it's going to do things like warn them. You're about to bring back a lot of data, and you can set that scope. 1,000 records, 5,000 records. You don't want them consuming the resources on the back end. At least I don't anyway. So this is telling them, hey, you need to go put a filter on this data source. So let's go to the filter. Let's say, well, we only want people with a title of Ms. or senior. Now what's great is notice that I don't have to type it in and guess at what the data is. It actually did a select distinct, populated the drop-down control, keeps us on track. It's good stuff. Click OK. Run the report. Very simple report. Renders it the way they wanted it. Very simple. Nice reiteration here of what the filter is. They can keep going back and forth, sorting and grouping, filtering. When they're all done, they can export it out to any of the different formats that Reporting Services supports, because this is just a Reporting Services report that was rendered. If they like what they see, they can hit the Save button. Notice the dialog is not saving a file to the operating system, the file system. It's actually going to save it back up to the Reporting Services folder. So this is the contact report. Save that, bust out of here, hit refresh, and it's an RDL file somewhere in here, probably over here in the other folder. TechEd. I picked the wrong model. It's actually under the AdventureWorks folder. It's actually went into hyperspace. Take my word for it. It's in here somewhere. Or not. Maybe I hit the wrong button. Anyway, you would see the report here. You could run it later on. You could export it. And this is the hazard of doing beta software, Grok talks. Last minute here, I want to just go over how do you build these models. Reports themselves, as you know, are created using Visual Studio. With SQL Server 2005, we have the BI Studio, which is a Visual Studio interface. The project types that we can create that are related to BI are report model projects, report project, and the wizard. The report model project, and I've actually got one here that I've already started. Go into my recent projects here and try to find this guy. Actually, I don't think I've saved that one. Yeah, I did. Okay, we're in luck. I don't have to walk you through the steps here. You identify the data source, which would be the connection string to the database, the views, which would be the tables of interest, and then you create the report model, and you can identify the subqueries, you can identify the minimums, the maximums, the averages, and you end up with an SMDL file. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you, the developer, the SQL person, are in command of what they can report from. You build the sandbox, their playground, to keep them on track. You can specify how many rows or too many rows, so you can trust your users. You don't have to like them, but now you can trust them to build their own reports. And the best thing is now you can go to them after they build the reports and tell them that you don't like their reports. Just kidding. Enjoy the tool and enjoy TechEd. Thank you very much. Where did my report go?